Hey, what's going on, everyone? I finished my second day of exploring the mountains up in the northwest, so I'm going to show you some of the pictures that I took of some of these enormous stone megastructures. First off, I'm just going to show you this quick little video clip so you can kind of get an idea of where I was going.
Okay, there are two very large structures that I'm trying to get to up there. So I'm kind of to the left. You can see it sticking up, and then there's another one over to the right.
Okay, so there's the first one right there. Now that one, it's just a big dome-shaped rock that was placed up there, and then there's this other one that you can see from across it. But this is the one I went to. I had to hike like just way out into the wilderness to get to this thing. It took like the majority of the day to get all the way up there and then all the way back. Okay, so let's look at some of these pictures. Let's see where they start here. Okay, so this one is located right off the road. You don't actually have to hike to this one. But you know, the more I drive around these back roads, it's like the more that I find. I mean, when you start driving around this area, you're literally going to see just hundreds of stone structures that some of them are still intact to a certain degree, but a lot of them have tipped over or crumbled down the side of a mountain. So here's one that's still, somewhat intact. You can see it's obvious intentionally stacked blocks. And now here I left my truck in the picture just so you can see how enormous these things are. So here's another one just a little farther down the road. Here's a close-up. Here's a shot from behind it. So I climbed up some of them. There's from the side. You can see they're just stacked in rows. Here's a kind of odd looking one. It almost looked like there's an eye right here, and then that's a mouth. Here's another huge one that looks like it had been tipped over or something. There's other locals that have posted some photos of these stone structures that say, these were like some ancient writings or stuff like that. I mean, I can't really make them out. So maybe if anyone else knows of some other ones that are similar, we can compare them. There's just another massive stone. Okay, this one had this very distinct curvature to it. It looked like it was machined out that way. And it had, just tumbled down the side of this mountain. Here's another one. It looked like this was the bottom. Like at one point, it was flipped up. So these are all still alongside the road. Like I actually drove kind of way down into like some valleys. But along the way there, I just saw tons of other structures that were, tumbling down the side of hills. Here's another one with like a bowl-shaped kind of a feature to it, which we see this over and over again around this area. Again, we got that bowl-shaped, almost like it was carved out. If you notice right here, there's another bowl. It's like a circle right there. Almost as if like all these had, they had some purpose. I think they were doing something with, or had something to do with resonance and sound waves and frequency and energy, because these are all located on a major energy grid line on the planet. So I think because like a lot of these, the granite and a lot of the rocks that you see, they have quartz crystal in them. So I think what they were doing is tapping into the earth energy, and the quartz crystal was like amplifying it. Just a theory. Here's another massive rectangular shaped brick. I mean, this thing probably weighs like 10 tons. Here's just a picture of me standing next to one of the rocks, so you can see how big they are. Some more that were tipped over. These are also off the side of the road. So that one's up in the hills a little more. I'm still driving along the road here, just getting way down into these valleys, like out in the middle of freaking nowhere. It's kind of what the scenery looks like. Here's a huge stone structure, like way up in the hills. I've got the long lens on and I'm fully zoomed in. That's so you can see how far away it is. It's like some of these structures, I mean, you have to literally like hike to them. There's no way you could get there with like a quad or a dirt bike or anything. The only way is to hike or get dropped off by a helicopter. Here's just another set of huge stacked rocks. Like along the way down into this valley, I kept seeing so many just tipped over down the hills that I kept having to stop and take pictures. Here's another one. It looks like this might have been the bottom. Like at one point this thing was flipped back up. Here's some more with this other one. This rock like put right in the middle of it. Similar to a ton of other dolmens and other ancient sites that you see all around the world. Another one that looked like this was the bottom, and it's been tipped over. Here's one that wasn't tipped over. You can see it's machined like this, or designed like this. Here's another just massive one. I mean, this thing is probably like 40 feet tall. So you can see, like, if you were to actually start walking around up here, you'd probably notice that these were all, at one point, stone megaliths that were all pieced together, but got damaged and then crumbled down, and all the pieces just kind of tumbled off. So most of these are pretty screwed up, but if you keep looking around, you'll find ones that are still very intact. Just some more of the scenery. Here's another huge one. It's kind of off the road. I'm actually standing on another huge megalith. I mean, it's like 60 feet up from the road, and then there's this other one directly across from it. Okay, these are very strange looking. Again, we have these like bowl kind of features carved out of it. I always like these perfect curves on this side and on this side. It almost looks like this was a head at some point, or could have been. There's another angle. Perfect curvature. Here's the other side, and there's another bowl carved out of it. So it looks like, I mean, at some point, you know, that might have been like a face carved out of that thing. Who knows? Here's another one right next to it. Here's one that tipped over. And here's just from the front of it. Very strange looking. But definitely does not look natural. So you can see that this was the other one in the other picture. Now they're like aligned with each other. So there's this one right here, and then this one, and then this weird looking wave-shaped rock right in front of it that's like pretty much directly aligned with its head. Okay, this is when I'm actually starting to like walk off the road and just get up into the wilderness. Like this is the road down here. That little dot right there, that's where I parked. So this is just the other side of the wilderness, kind of from an above view. Okay, so there's the one that I saw when I was out there wandering around, and I was like, that does not look natural. I have to get to that. So that took me the majority of the day to get there and back. So here's when I'm finally getting closer to it. You can see how tall this thing is. I'm still like pretty far away. This is just another one I found when I was wandering around out there. But look at this one that's stacked up right here. I mean, these things are, this whole structure right here is probably like 50 feet tall or more. Because I mean, these trees are huge. So, you know, when you're like walking around out here in the wilderness like this, you know, if you don't pay attention to like where the sun is and all that stuff, and, you know, you can get lost really easily because you can't really see that far unless you get up on top of one of these hills. Here's just some other ones, or another angle, I should say, of the really big one. Okay, this one right here, this is just another one that was out here, and this was one of the tallest ones. I mean, this thing's probably like 75 or 85 feet high. These huge blocks, all neatly stacked. Here's an up close, a little up closer. You can see how like it's stacked in rows. There's another one just directly across from it. Huge. Okay, this is the dome-shaped one that was just sticking up out of the wilderness. So it's these two huge blocks and this big dome that was set on top of it. Now, how that got there, you know, my theory, anti-gravity technology. Because this thing right here has to weigh like like 10 tons or more. I mean, these things are huge. Here's the one directly across. You can see all these little smaller stones that are stacked up on top of each other. And a whole bunch of bigger ones all around it. A lot of them have crumbled and fallen off. There's some more shots of being up there, way up in the mountains. There's another, these two, this dome-shaped stone and this one are right next to that really big one right here, which is probably a good like 20 to 30 feet up from where these are. Here's some more blocks stacked very orderly right next to the really big one. There's a little close-up shot of it. Here's some more. This one's probably like around like 15 feet tall. Right next to that really big dome-shaped one. So here's from down below. So you can see how it looks like it's almost starting to tip over a little. But I mean, there's so many trees in the way. Like when you're hiking up here, I mean, you have to like climb over trees, you're climbing over rocks. I mean, there's no way you could get like, you know, heavy machinery moving equipment up this mountain to lift a huge block like that and put it up there. Here's some other ones just in the general area. There's another angle of the really big dome-shaped one. The one that I hiked way up there to go see. Okay, this one was interesting because we see this little machined out point right here, and then this is sharp. It almost looks like it's been sharpened this way. There's a little closer view of it. There's also these thorn bushes all over the place. Some of them get way bigger than this one, but these things are like sticking in you the whole way up there, so you definitely got to be wearing pants to do this hike. Here's some more just crumbling down the hill. Here's another one with those bowl shapes that we keep seeing over and over again. Here's just another massive rock, probably weighs like 15 tons. There's a shot from the front of it. It almost looks like there's 3 knobs on it, like one right there, 2, and then a third one right here that possibly broke off. Here's a picture of me next to the really big dome-shaped one. Okay, and then that's just a picture of Seattle. So I stopped by Seattle when I was out and about. So that's about it for my second day. Here's a few more pics just of the sunset in the sky, in some of the mountains that I was going through on my way out there. So that was day 2. I found just a ton more huge stone structures. And there's plenty more out there that I still need to go check out. Anyways, these are all up in the mountains in the northwest. Pretty crazy stuff. Anyways, I'll keep you guys updated. Everyone have a wonderful day. See you later. Oh, and if you like this video, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. See ya.